Reverend Moon, looking at from the God's point of view, how can we avoid this kind of acute danger and trying to reverse into advantage? That's the way, as a leadership of the God-centered movement, Father has been thinking. And
그렇기 때문에 내 머리가 서두른 것이 남미 기부 연합회를 만들고 중동 연합회를 만들고 아시아 연합회를 만들고 그게 미국 내 흥과 전부 다 남미로부터 아프리카 그에 있는 이 협회 만드는 조직 기관을 다 해놓고
So therefore, Father, ever since entered into Denver, Father has been working for unification of all the minorities. So Father,
남미를 기업하는 문제도 레브런 문만이 만들지. 또 아프리카가 앞으로의 서만은 레브런 문이 중동 문제도 지금 여러 가지 전체대 모든 문제들 아카데미에서 우리가 동의하고 공감합니다. 모든 연구가 그런 방향성으로 수습돼서 이제는 세계가 이 통일교의 선을 없어져서는 안 될 단계에 들어왔다는 것이 이제는 해고 지식주에서부터 종교 해고 세계를 영향하는 모든 지역들은 통일교에서 안 되겠다고 할 수 있는 단계로 왔습니다.
so what has been the consequences?
종교의회 다 감수를 그런 여러분 언론계까지 지금까지 반대하는 것이 언론계까지도 지지할 수 있는 환경을 전부 다 방향을 전부 다 수습하는 노력을 진행해왔다.
So what has been the consequences after Father entered the Denver? First of all, Father organized all the minorities, united together under one common purpose. Furthermore, the Christianity has been turned around. And South America and Central America is a major continent come to the realization that the Reverend Moon only posed the hope and the solution. And that would be same true at the Africa, Middle East, any worldwide question. Even though Father is in Danbury, the awareness, they missed Father. All of a sudden they come to realization of the value of the Father. They come to search now for solution from Father, knowing that Father alone can bring a solution, no other power.
정상세계적 민주세계적 탁월된 그것이 전부 다 큰 두개 붙었으니 소망이 없는 그런 세계에서도 레브런 문까지 없어지는 건 큰일 납니다.
Once Reverend Moon disappeared from the frontline scene of the American life, they all of a sudden, immediately feel the danger come to them from communism.
이런 사상적 결을 관찰하게 될 때 이제 법정체에서 내가 총서간 말에는 어떻게 기독교를 한국으로 결석하고 기독교를 결석한 운동이 어떻게 공산주의 반동운동으로 한 것을 진언이라는 것은 승패의 길을 가려놓는다는 사실을.
So Father has been thinking. Once the court battle ended up me going to Denver, prison. Then Father knew this is a grand and golden opportunity to turn around the Christianity direction, and not only for the issue of religious freedom, then step up toward the fighting communism. We also level. So that this actually, in several months, Father is in prison. That hasn't happened.
여러분 미국 역사에 있어서 종교 자유를 정신하고 데모할 수 있고 종교 자유가 이렇게 필요하다고 할 수 있는 것은 이게 수수께끼 얘기야.
The amazing thing is America, everybody thought the land of freedom, land of religious freedom, never thought about the religious freedom movement in this country. But that has become a focal point of the religious issue today.
공산당이 정부가 예산이 사과가 들어가니까 종교 세계에 이것을 세금 조달하는 막대한 자금이 나온다고 좀 삼아가지고 이것이 공산당이 조직해가지고 종교 전부 다 노가리 자르는 거예요. 노가리 잘래니 거기 테스트 케이스로서 전부 다 반대모습에 물고 나갈 수 있는 사람 돌아가는 콘대에다가 그 낚시 같은 데 걸을 수 있는 거 하나의 시범 테스트 걸어서 하나만 걸으면 전부 다 걸어요.
United States bureaucratic governments such as the IRS looking for more resources for income, and they see that the vast resources in the religious community, and they could not tax those resources for the reason they did secular and more secular bureaucratic thinking is trying to open up the sort of like a threshold. By doing so, they are trying to come up to taxation to the religious community. And they've been looking for most ideal target, first target. And they took Reverend Moon as the first target.
그래서 이제 하나님 편에서 하였어요. 지구상이 우리의 인류의 것이 하나님 것이다. 그 이제 축제해야 되고, 인류의 우리 총재지 인동체의 하나의 국민이요 하나님의 아들이다. 다 끝나는 거예요. 그럼. 끝나는 거예요.
But then,
빨리 철저히 정해준다. 그리고 현재 이선 가는 데 있어서 이제부터의 전환 시기에는 종교 자유라는 문제를 중심 삼아가지고 세계를 규합해. 이 공산당이 종교 만들죠. 무신론이 그런 노름에 무신론을 대항할 수 있는 이 종교 자유운동으로 내가면서 이것이 공산주의 성공의 카오사 운동으로 길이까지 전환만 시켜놓은 날에는 세계는.
so the religious community felt the same danger. The government is going after Reverend Moon and they're going after them next. So the religious freedom issue become an important issue. And so therefore, Father actually the founder of the religious freedom issue in this country. Then move on to religious freedom, move on to all the way to the anti-communistic, VOC movement. And this is the golden opportunity. And the Father grabbed that opportunity.
미국이 지금까지 이 경제 미래에 있어서의 이것이 세계 지배를 무엇을 중심 삼고 하느냐 하는 문제가 3세계 경제의 원자재 가장하는 것이 이제부터의 역사 시대의 지배권을 지탱하고 있는 그 지배권은 소련단이든 미국당을 하더라도 거기에 있어 전부 다 백혀가는 과정에 하는 것이 레브런문 폴리티컬 나오게 됐다는 사람입니다. 이렇게 되면 아프리카 지역 이것이 마치 남미 지역 저개발 지역 이것이 전부 다 육대적으로 절반이 됩니다. 그 건네가 그 자유 방향권이 하나님의 뜻에 의해서 다시 결정 단계로서 상승을 행방을 정하고 전진하고 있다는 사실을
So right now the world power is going after third world resources. Whoever grabs the resources of the third world will conquer the world, will control the world. And however, today, United States bloc has failed to win the third world. Communist bloc has failed the third world because the nature of exploitation. But now they come to trust one entity, Reverend Moon's entity. Reverend Moon is the one who will benefit the local community, local nation. They now come to trust. They bestowed upon, they really leaning toward the Reverend Moon. And that is happening, this phenomenon happening in Africa, in Central America, and South America.
전 세계 PWP 요원으로부터 신학자로부터 최고의 기술을 내 선생님이고 그렇게 했고 또 남미라든가 이런 선진국에 좀 취약한 운동으로 반대받던 남미라든가 아프리카 이런 것들 항상 좋아하고 있습니다.
So, for the intellectual level, Father really organized the highest possible intellectual level through the PWPA and their other academic movement. At the same time, all the politically speaking, Central and South America, they've been vacuumed for political ideology. Father is the one for providing those thoughts, and so that God-centered, new worldview is becoming their new hope and confidence. In the technological world, Father is also in a supreme position. What the dispensation of German and automobile industry as well as German factory. Then what about the media world? The most powerful world is the media world, and they have been always exploiting Father. Now they come to realization. They have to unite with Father. How about the financial world? Again, Father is having a special interest. And
일본 앞으로 일본이 지금 세계적 문제가 되는데 미국도 일본을 작전을 만들고 일본을 누가 문제 이건 성적으로 필요했다. 딱 선생님 표적을 정한대로 권한 그대로 오는 거야. 일본을 그렇기 때문에 이것이 사실 3년 전은 350만 또 병원을 중심 삼고 700만 명 하는 얘기잖아. 한국에 700만 만들어니 한국 지에서 안 돼갔다. 한국에 700만 얼마 만들어놨다고. 그건 개통이 되겠다. 이래가지고 이것이 일본이 타락을 보면 억지된 해와의 입장에서는 천사장을 끌고서 아담의 세계로 들어가요. 아담의 세계에 들어가가지고 사탄, 공산당 이게 원래 결론이다. 국가를 전부 다 한꺼번에 밀어쳐.
So Japan is going to be quite important because without Japanese participation, no world problem will be solved from now on. And Father already have probably the strongest influence and power in Japan. You know, IFEOC alone, nobody believed when Father announced 7 million membership, but that is far exceeded already. That happened in Korea as well. And
이미 그런 기반이 다
So-
그런 기반이 다 가졌다는 게 이것은 지금 현재 아무리 정치가 큰 소리 했었자 이 신공연합을 움직이지 않고는 안 됩니다.
So no matter what, they have to now recognize Reverend Moon's influence. And this it's not Reverend Moon's plan. He has already done it. It's there. So no political leadership in Japan and Korea, they could not overlook Reverend Moon's influence.
금년에 미국에 있어서의 4,500만 영로서부터 1,500만 원.
The United States of America is the next target area. Our goal is 45 million.
간단하게
45 million.
약사민족 협회를 중심 삼고 남미기구, 중동기구, 연합단선만 다니면서 이 카오스만 자꾸만 하게 되면 나라가 쭉 넘어간다.
So-
불란서가 전부 다 이제 불란서가 지금 불합화해서 선생님이 지금 이거 뭐냐 들골 대통령의 불쌍한 사람이 수련된 사람이 가지고 편나를 꺾고는 이거 아니면 제가 딱 결정적인 이런 입장에서 가지고 모든 불란서 지금까지 보수파 전투를 세력을 하고 있는 거예요.
So in the United States,
앞으로 불합화 전역에 영향을 끼치는 분이라고.
in the United States, now this goal of 45 million is going to be easy. It's not going to be difficult because we have to start uniting with all the minorities. That has been done already. Now the Christian churches, together, we come way over 45 million. Another important fact is in Europe. Europe, Father's eye on the France. France in a very peculiar position. Why? The country is a free nation, yet suffering under socialism government. For that reason, there was an incredible anti-communistic mood is booming. Happened to be that the Father found fine leadership, that the Dr. Seuss tell.
사탄이가 물었던 것은 약속이 불란서가 그렇게 됐다.
So exactly the France situation that Satan grabbed France. They thought they can win France. All of a sudden they only half grabbed. Meantime, the intellectual French people could not accept that kind of way of life. So they are adamantly opposing it. And they're coming 180 degrees away from their own government.
선생님이 어떻게 돼? 고용장을 만들고 대학신사를 만들고 뭐 아카데미 하고 독립적인 발전하는 것은 어떤 한시였구만 돈이 좀 거기 땡기고 이래가지고 인천하는 것은 선교의 언어가 특이한 사람이 없다. 선교 선교를 특이한
Father has been mobilizing the resources for all this superstructure type organization and the newspaper companies, PWPAs and council work and all other work. Yeah. Yeah. Tongil industry. These are the superstructure of our movement. And then the financial leadership now. All kind of conferences and science conference, media conference, and so forth. Now, Father is saying, so far, none of the unification members and the leaders especially never supported Father in this direction. They say, they keep wondering why Father is doing that. Why didn't he put more effort on the church activities itself, the center? But now time has come. Everybody come to realization what Father has achieved. How all this can come together for common goal. You are the member of the Unification Church and become a leadership of the Unification Church. Aren't you? So anybody.
그저 따라가기가 바빠서 아이고 내 괜히 들어왔다 이거 보따리 싸야 되겠다 이러고 있잖아.
Anybody sitting
얼마나
here.
차원이 얼마나 너희들이 진짜 이것을 알고 나니까 얼마나 너희들이 선생님을 뭐 세워놓고 무시하고 세워놓고 마음대로 하는 노릇입니다.
Sitting here in this room, have you ever thought about the way Father was thinking? Academic world, media world, industrial world, the machine, technological world, and the financial world. You just worry about just going each day by day, and some of them become disillusioned. Better be packed. It's just no hope. Many people come to that kind of conclusion. Well, there seems to be no hope in Unification Church. It won't change. It won't go anywhere. Long march nowhere.
기독교가 세계의 판도를 만들어가지고도 현실 시대를 주지 못하는 이런 역사를 알 때에 그때 토일교에다 기독교가 들어갔는데 그때 했잖아요. 기독교가 지금 제8세계적 판도를 가져가지고도 대별 내용을 다 세계적인 지도권을 가진 그걸 가지고 실패하고 있는데 토일교가 지금 이제 그때까지는 다 가지고 그것을 만들어가지고 참으로 활용해가지고 세계를 연립 안 돼.
Think of it. Look at the Christian churches. The Christian church is having hundreds of millions of population, millions of churches, all kinds of organizations. With that kind of foundation, they could not turn the power of communism. Do you think we just build up the local center one by one and put together, we'll grow in power, then all of a sudden we'll be winning, with the communism? So, thinking about the kingdom of heaven on earth, this kind of goal, we're just, from the step by step. No, Father thinking miraculous way, the leaps and bounds, like a moon landing, Apollo 11, that kind of thinking. There must be that kind of thinking alone again.
세계 자기가 세계적이야 하는 것을 그 세계가 나밖에 없다는 사람들이 통일교회 비교 피나 걸고 비교해볼 때만 사상적 면에서 내가 사상적 면에는
Now what happened? After many years, the tireless effort.
조직적 면에서 볼 때 세계는 조직적 면에서 또 언론인들을 동원할 수 있는데도 이거라. 또 젊은이들은 뭐 어떻게든 죽으려면 죽을 수 있게 그런 명령을 가져가지고 국경을 넘어서 그래서 너희같이 일식에 먹는 것도 이거는 전부같이 그러니까 비교할 때 하나에서 100까지 전부 다 대해가지고 이길 수 없다 하는 결론이 현실화될 수 있는 시점에 이것들은 놀라운 사실이라 해야 돼요.
So we come to the realization today, all the skeptics, let's call it skeptics, agnostics, about the Unification Church, now come to the poignant realization, Father's really winning. He really meant it. He really meant it. He's going to do the kingdom of heaven on earth. Look, all the top leaders from different fields and come say, Reverend Moon, let me be your servant. Let me work for you. Let me do something for you. That has come from the media world, academic world, the financial world, business world, everywhere. Even people see they're comparing their own leadership with the Reverend Moon. They know they cannot compare in all fields, including, recruiting young people and tasking them. No one even dare think about that kind of task. Father has done it.
미국 정부로 볼 때 미국의 2억 4천만 이런 국민이 거기에 3분의 2억 8천만 분이 있다 하는 점 말이야. 청년 가운데 토일교 같은 사람, 그런 사람이 큰 사람이 자기 국민권에 가진 사람이 있느냐고. 그런데 토일교는 100%.
So we have here in this country about a 240 million population, and probably 1/3 of them are young people. But they are looking for the kind of people, the motivated, the committed like Unification Church members. They could not find even one. But the Reverend Moon has by hundreds, thousands, by tens of thousands all over the world. They got to give Father credit. They got to recognize Father credit.
이제 내가 이제 한 10년 잠만 나더라도 세계는 통일교회가 여사스럽게 전부 다 말아 제낄 수 있는 때가 된다.
Father feel so confident. I can go back now, have a 10-year nap. But when I get up, 10 years later, all is done. Because
경쟁하지 않은 이제 전부 다 나타나지 않는데 반대를 받아줄 텐데 이제는 세계가 경쟁하고 전부 다 알고 너도 나도 전부 다 학자가 되려고 전부 다 그러는데 젊은 놈들은 전부 다 이거 알아서 안 듣는 건 미친놈 소리지.
For two reasons, Father has that much confidence. Number one, Father already created numbers of another Sun Myung group. This you feel. Father feel that Father made young people, inherit his tradition, his spirit. You're going to move on, no matter what. That's number one. Number two, Father, under opposition, build the foundation this much. You're not going to have that much opposition, so you got to succeed. Father succeeded under adverse condition, but you're not going to have adverse condition, welcoming condition. How can you fail? For the two reasons, Father is a 10-year nap confidence.
내가 지금 감옥에 있는 사람이 아니에요. 그렇지만 천미사는 내가 감옥에 나올 때는 다 이뤘다.
So,
십자가 들어갈 때 영적 천국 기반을 다 이뤘다고 경험하시고 실체적 지상 천국 이름을 성사시킬 수 있는 내용을 다 이뤘다고.
So, Father still in prison. Father still known to be a prisoner now. But when Jesus, when he was crucified, the final word he had spoken was, the all work is finished. I finished. All finished. He said, by the same token, when Father came out of that Danbury prison, Father will declare to the world that in Danbury prison, I all finished. Finished the task, the responsibility. All is done. One key element that needs to be done, and this guy here was instructed to do it, and just waiting to be done, and Father said, that guy is too slow. That means. All is, that it needs to be done is just determined persuasion, persuasive attack. And, you know, when you have, in order to do that, you need the courage to do it.
그래서 때가 어떤 때는 확실하게 알아서 지금 때가 어떤 지금 이렇게 볼 때 지금 때가 이 역사 반전 섭리노정에 어떤 때라 하는 것을 생각하게 될 때 이 때가 마지막 정한 시기라는 논리를 할수 없다는 결론이 나온다고.
I want you to understand, therefore, you know, we must read the God timetable. According to the God timetable, this is the time that all things must be finished. All things must be done. And you must be able to read the time. This is indeed the end of the world. Number one, there's a time to digest communism.
공산당을 소화하고 민주 세계를 소화할 수 있는
Reverend Moon has a confidence and gut to digest communism. Furthermore, digest the free world.
그리고 지금 이 방향이 어떻게 된다면 그래서 선생님이 종교 자유를 해라 종교 자유 운동을 시키더니 그대는 카우사 감투를 써라. 이게 종교 자유는 내가 나오는 말이야. 후집이 떨어져. 내가 나오는 말에는 나 때문에 일어나는 일이기 때문에 후집이 이분에서는 리관된 전도를 나가시다가 그래. 이제는 세무 사찰 각만 두고 종교 문제도 전부 다 해제다. 한마디 발표하면 말 종교 자유는 완전히 영점에 들어가는 거야.
Father initiated religious freedom movement. Religious freedom movement.
그것을 이렇게 만든 것은 공산당이었다고 확실히 해가지고 그것이 종교 자유 운동 끝나기 전에 공산당과 싸워야 될 이 국가적 운동을 세계적 운동을 하지 않는다 하는 그런 법을 붙여놓지 않으면 부사가 되는.
So our movement has been forefront of the religious freedom movement, but Father is not going to rest there. Father knew as soon as Father would come out of Danbury, religious freedom issue will die away. Why? Because most of the power and energy come from the Father's imprisonment. When the Father's imprisonment is over, and they don't have any more excitement. Therefore, before that time comes, Father shifts the gear to another gear into. And furthermore, the President of the United States will declare that we're going to honor the religious freedom. America is a land of freedom, and we're going to amend some rules and so forth. And our religious community will be said, well, fine, we have done the job. But Father's not going to end there. Therefore, before we get there, Father moved another gear into the Kausa movement, which is, fighting over communism, the God or no God movement, and mobilizing the entire movement focused to that direction before the religious freedom issue is die away.
교황청에서 노를 부르다. 하나를 살아있는 거야.
So, South America,
문제가 전부 다 기독교서 천주교가 내버려둔 그 박사학위를 달라고 했나? 자기 그러다 하나님 없다는 거라. 똥줄이 달아가지고 하나님 살려는 거야. 영을 목대로 쫓는 거야. 이래가지고 나 내버려둔 걸 감투를 천주교 감투를 크게 쓰고 전부 다 젊은 놈들 관습을 처음 만들어.
so first, therefore, while Father is in prison, all kinds of situation is happening. First of all, even Pope John Paul II declared finally that all those priests who are united with the Nicaragua government, some foreign ministers, the Catholic priests, or those who are, propagating for the liberation theology, they cut the neck. You're no longer Catholic Church. Either you take a choice. Either you're a Catholic Church or go away. What's Sandinistas? And
지하로 들어가야 돼. 지하로. 그 대신 내가
And secondly, the Catholic Church at the same time, in South America, Argentina, the Catholic University of La Plata, they came with the crown to Father, with the doctorate degree, the honoris causa, highest honorary degree that country can ever give to anyone. It's not just one area. The highest universal degree to Father, and the Catholic Church and the Vatican is trying to desperately stop it. Because it's almost like John Paul II is endorsing Reverend Moon. They don't like that. So they're trying to stop it. But then this the school president said, no, onto my neck I must give this degree while Father is in prison.
이런 시스템. 선생님을 모셔다가 천하의 위인이라고 부르는 이것이 미국이 지금까지 강호의 기본을 다시 살피는 하나의 사실입니다.
But then what the United States of America should do? United States of America must vindicate Father. That's the only way they can pay some repentance for putting Father into jail. And they must apologize to Father. They must bring Father out of the prison and declaring to the world that this is injustice. We, America, shamed by this deed. We are now honor Reverend Moon. And this, if Father is like an ordinary individual, as a very vindicative person, Father will say, I'm going to attack this government. I'm going to attack the United States of America. Normally people would think so, because he becomes, and the U.S. put him into enemy position. But Father doesn't think that way. Why? Because Father knows God's will. God will. He's not doing anything for himself, for God. God needs America. God needs strong administration.
미국 국민들이 통일교회를 지지하고 나서고 세계 만민들이 통일교회를 지지하고 나설 때에 미국 역사는 레버런을 죄 없이 가져갈 때는 미국 정부의 역사적인 노력.
So when American people come to the realization that Father is a great man, he has done a great work, he has given to mankind a salvation hope, then what happens? The deed of the united government at this particular time shall remain in the history of the United States as a certain spot, dirty spot. So what about? You put yourself in the President of the United States. Would you sign the declaration, the Father is innocent, here is the presidential power exercised, our Father Reverend Moon, declare to the world and apologize to him? Would you have a courage to do that?
Yes. 여기 제일 못생긴 사람이 제일 못생긴 여자가 제일 못생긴 여자가 그런 놈은 뭐 미국이 반대하고 총장 강력을 만들고 사인을 척해버렸단 역사에 뭐 뭐라고 무슨 뭐 와싱턴 대통령이 위한 그 문제가 역사가
So,
인류가 기억할 수 있는 대통령이 됐다면
let's say worst possible individual here in this room. Even a woman, let's say one woman here. And who will say, regardless of public opinion, whatever the media will say, I am going to sign the paper. And even you can impeach me, the President of the United States. I'm not going to be another day to be a president, that's okay. I'm going to sign today for the declaration for the presidential pardon for Reverend Moon. that person, that the worst possible person shall remain the historical President of the United States for eternity.
반대하는 그러니까 반대하는 편견적 미국 대통령의 부하, 지지하는 하나의 편적 미국 대통령의 부하이기 때문에 가인아벨이 갈라지기 때문에 하나님이 가인아벨이 갈라지기 죽는 날은 잘라버릴 수 없다. 그래서 살아있습니다.
So there, 영계 말씀이니까.
아주 좋았어요.
This morning I'm getting a little crazy. You know? I'm up in heaven, you know, cloud 9. So, Father said, yeah.
반대하는 대통령, 민간은 반대한 대통령이 아니고, 그러면 지적을 해방시키는 대통령이기 때문에 미국 국민이 지지하는 그 패가 생겨났고, 예전에는 반대했던 그 대통령에 대해서 옮겨진다는 거야. 그럼 반대했던 대통령이라는 게 타한데, 공산당 패인데, 그런 걸 전부 다 공산당 패, 서석 좋아하는 미국 국민. 이것은 가인의 건드리는 아벨이 세기 때문에 가인이 살아날 수 있는, 구원받을 수 있는 길이 있다. 그러는 거예요.
So Father sees, dispensationally, the President Ronald Reagan, for example, he changed his position to be courageous enough to sign the Declaration. Then he would change his position, the former in a Cain-type position to Abel-type position. So then there's an Abel-type American will support him. There will be incredible support he will get. But including the president. You know, yes. Other head of state, what they're talking about. Then there's a Cain-type people who will say, why did you do that? Why did you do that? The Cain-type American. Those who are surrounding President Carter. You know, Carter was Father's enemy. And so Cain and Abel, like a Cain and Abel. So Cain and Abel struggle on a nationwide basis. But eventually, Cain will be overcome by the Abel forces. No question about it. And ultimately, only few, the worst critic, then we can somehow, persuade and pacify these people. Then we are going to see first time in American history the unified America. At least one under God's and opinion. Who shall unite these forces of American public opinion? The Moonies are going to do it. You American Mooney. You follow?
고등학생했다고 강태고요. 그래서 그게 너희만 형수들이야 자기들 잘하면서 봐야 1년 2개월밖에 못 줬다. 둘러봐라. 내가 나가는 날에는 내가 입으려는 날에는 언론대회는 세계 나라마다 초청하는 사람 다 올 것이고 괜찮다 할 것이다. 와싱턴 광장거리에 여러 가지 한 몇천 명 모아가지고 저 인터뷰 해가지고 하루에
So,
그날 말하고 있는데 그게 멋진 거야.
the father is living a dramatic life. Father is in Danbury prison, almost like the one, famous historical Chinese man who was waiting for his own opportunity. He was always going for fishing, but he is fishing always with the straight needle. The straight needle, no fish can be caught by the straight needle. He was not catching the fish. He was catching the time. He was catching the opportunity. By the same token, Father is fishing a straight needle in Denver. So, as soon as opportunity comes, Father's straight needle become a round needle. Then we'll catch tuna. What Father is basically saying, Denver, Father is waiting for the fruitful, opportune moment for the great happening. And at this moment will come. So all of a sudden, the great miraculous phenomena can come. This is that kind of time. One day people just do not see. They're trying to enjoy the day-to-day life. All of a sudden they find Denver has become incredible volcano, spiritual volcano. The entire public opinion has been turned around to Danbury in support of Reverend Moon. Entire world opinion and turned around to Reverend Moon. And this kind of situation is possible.
지금 때가 어떤 때인지 알았어? 너 알아서 지금 때가 어떤 때인지.
So, can you read the time? Then what kind of time we're living today?
이것이 공론이야. 이것이 사실이야.
What do you think? Father just said daydreamer. He was just dreaming all kind of dream, daydream. Or Father is thinking, what the scientific and the logical foundation, what the God-centered. Father is looking forward to the vision. He is talking about a vision or a daydream? It's become a reality. Father is talking about a reality.
자유가 얼마나 귀한 것을 잘하는 사람, 자유가 얼마나 귀한 것을 잘하는 사람이 여기에서 해방을 원하는 사람은 내가 전부 다 해방합니다.
Today, I want to have some special dispensation, Father said. Today, those who do not want to be Mooney anymore, raise hand. I'll give a liberation ceremony.
내가 감옥에 있으니 해방이 필요하다고.
So, since I'm in prison, I'm a prisoner, I need a liberation. Therefore, by condition, I will liberate you from to be Mooney.
연애도 못하고 뭐 프리섹스도 못하고 이게 뭐야? 어디 가나 뭐 마음대로 할 수 없고 뭐 이거 해라. 이뭐 여기까지 싸우고 이게 거기에 정상으로 알고 주는 게 낫지. 이가 설정 민들이 아야 도망가는 그 안다고. 그 해방식 하자.
So Father said, being in Danbury prison, he really appreciates the value of freedom. So now you're prisoners to the Unification Church. Well, I could not go around, I could not even have a date, I could not have even my own enjoyment, I could not go even my girlfriend, and I cannot do anything, and I have to be bound, I cannot smoke, I cannot drink, I cannot have a drug, I cannot even sleep 3 hours a day. And what kind of life is that? I need a liberation. Those raise hand. Then I'll give a liberation ceremony because I realize the value of freedom. Well, what about the volunteer?
가만 두고 보니까 자유보면 선회가 막심하거든. 선회가 막심하.
You are clever people. You are pretty wise, smart. You just wait. Now you are going to lose. By liberating from here, going out of that door, you're going to be a loser. You're not going to be a winner. You'll be a loser. Nobody wants to be a loser. That is what they call American pragmatism. How about? So what would you would you like to be liberated now, or would you like to go ahead now with the program, the winning strategy, what Father's program? Which one? Yes or no? Father's program?
지금까지보다 또 이제 1년이면요 1년은 벼락같이 성공. 막 내까먹고.
More than ever. 1960, 1985, 1986. Next couple of years is going to be all-out attack. The offensive battle. We haven't defended too long. We shall be offensive.
그러니까 그걸 알기 때문에 너는 지금 아야. 그때 가서 부장님 내가 오늘 아야.
Knowing that it's going to be a marching forces. So therefore, without making us trouble in a year later or year and a half, I'm rather those who don't have a confidence, rather declare yourself, I want to be free, and all right, Father will give you freedom.
그 얼마나 좋겠나. 나 감옥에서 나오면 내가 얼마나 잘 뛰어들어 돌아요. 세계 왔다 갔다. 이제부터 이제 비행기 사가지고 참 독비행기 사가지고 이제 달려갈 때가 오네.
As much as Father wants to be a free man, freedom, and Father appreciates freedom, and Father came out of Danbury prison. I'm going to be really going around the world. Now appreciate the trip, free trip, free people going everywhere. Father definitely will buy airplanes because commercial airline would not take him anywhere.
레브런문 취재하고 환영했던 마음으로 사람들 전부 다 이거 해할 텐데 대통령이 사회하고 내가 얘기할 텐데 한번 해보자고.
We see the beautiful plan and a blueprint out there. Father will propose the national rally. The head of state in organizing it, government is organizing it. Father will invite as a guest speaker and speak to the crowd. You know, all 6 continents. That kind of day, that kind of a vision.
나는 공정하고 일하고 편집하는 거 다 이런 사람들 정말 개개인차에 인사할 수 없으니 한꺼번에 공개해서 이런 대회에서 인사하는 한국만 국가운동인데.
Father will say, there's so many people, head of state, former head of state, congressmen, senators, sent me a letter while I was in Danbury prison. I could not go around to meet everybody to thank them. So why not everybody come together in one place? Let me declare the one great thanks of appreciation. And, well, this is, they know they will be gained by it, they will not be lose by it.
미국 국민도 50개 주에서 내가 덴버리 들어갔을 때 마음으로 동정한 성원한 사람 전부 다 인사할 수 없으니 그 주지사가 들어가지고 전부 다 우리 교회에서 레브런을 마음으로 동정해서 한번 모이서 만나가지고 인사합시다. 많이 올 거라.
So then, even in the United States, Father will go around the 50 states and said, those who have been sympathetic, supporting Reverend Moon's freedom while he was in prison, please come together. So let the government extend an invitation. Let them come to the one big banquet hall. I'm sure state by state, there are a lot of people who like to come.
그러면 목사들이 30만 목사들 한데 책을 받고 비디오 테이프 받는 거 그게 현시가로 전부 다 그건 시장 일반 시장 판는 거는 한 200불 가까운 시세를 되는데 이걸 전부 다 찾아와서 음악들은 누구나 해.
Also, 300,000 ministers, Christian ministers, are receiving Divine Principle tape and books and Father's own writing. And, in a commercial, that is about the $200 worth. So they're giving that kind of gift from Denver. So they should be at least to say, thank you, Reverend Moon. The minister should be. People who read the Divine Principle book and listen to the videotape, their curiosity aroused. Curiosity comes to the point that they must meet Reverend Moon in person. They want to see him. People, the minister want to come to see Reverend Moon.
그때 너들 120명 목사들 호텔에다가 처리 앉아놓고 내가 표창할 때지 뭐.
So then you have your 120 ministers come with you and say to Father, Father, this is my 120, my flocks. Then I may give you a special citation.
그 말이 아니야. 그렇게 할지 모른다고.
This may not be just an empty word. You're saying Father is capable of doing it? Yes or no?
Yes. CIA가 반대하고 CIA가 반대하고 하다가 하는 거야.
It doesn't matter what the FBI is in favor or CIA is in favor. It doesn't matter. And Father willing to do it, He will do it.
뭐 정부가 나 덴버리에서 이다고 발전하는 게 아니야. 더 발전한다 그래서.
So when Father is in Danbury, Unification Church is stalemated? Not at all. This is really the time the Unification movement worldwide is moving in leaps and bounds. So what about those who want the freedom, who want to be liberated from Mooney situation? What about it? Shall we declare that everybody free, and shall we have all you go home and? So you don't want to go home, then where would you like to go? Where would you go? Where would you go? Huh?
지금까지 목사가 만든 원수가 내 편을 원수가 나를 100명 원수 가운데 10명 원수가 나를
So far, let's say 100 enemies. Then among 100 enemies, 10% 10 people are going to turn their position and are trying to now sympathetic and support you. Then you no longer have a fear to be defeated by the enemy. So the Christian ministers are like that. They all are enemy. Not anymore. More than 10% of people are on our side.
자, 이거 30만 권을 30만 명의 이게 비디오 테이프 채널하더니 얼마나 선생님이 감옥에서 바빠갔나. 뭐 나갈 생각 꿈에도 더 일어나가지고 뭐 어떡할래 집어치워야 이 곽정에 집어치워라. 너는 모른다고. 이거 해야 된다. 내 10월 말까지 제발 12월 말까지 하겠습니다. 이 시작하고 이어서 1월 말까지 하겠습니다. 2월 하겠습니다. 이런 것처럼 하나의 선생님이
The 300,000 videotape distribution among the ministers were brought up by Father. The leaders of the Unification Church were skeptical. Mr. Pog was skeptical. Reverend Kwok was skeptical. And Father, kick the bus, and get out of this place. And don't come ever here. You just do it. And Father asked Reverend Kwok to do it by November. Finish it by November. And he said, Father, give me a little more time. It's virtually impossible to do it. And by December, now January. And I do not know even whether that would be completed by even January. When Father's point is, when you are, sort of not fulfilling Father's deadline, dispensational scheme will be postponed.